Before we begin, just apologize for the delay, but we've just been involved. We've just had a transaction. Bernier's been traded to Anaheim for future considerations, and that's all we'll say about the trade. It just transpired minutes ago.
Was there any salary retained?
I have no comment about any of the details.
What in particular motivated that? What's in it for you guys in that particular?
Well, first of all, as we all know, we, made a trade earlier to get Freddie Anderson, and then, we felt that this was the best thing for us to do, and we will acquire a backup goaltender, before training camp.
Something in the works there already?
We'll have a backup goaltender, before training camp.
What did you think of today's scrimmage overall as these kids get a chance?
Really pleased with it. Certainly, they've been just doing drills all week, and they couldn't wait to get out there. And some over anxious, some under anxious. But I think tomorrow it'll be a little more high tempo than it was today.
Lou, how did Jonathan take the news when you broke it to him that he'd been traded?
He's a pro. Certainly understands why, and anytime you make that type of a phone call, it's tough. You always make a second phone call after, because when the player hears it, all they're thinking about is, what just happened. But he's been a solid individual since the day I got here. I couldn't feel more comfortable with him as a person and what he did for us. But right now we've moved on.
Austin Matthews doesn't have a contract right now. We understand you don't like to give performance bonuses. Why is that?
Well, first of all, I don't think there's anything to talk about right now with reference to Austin's contract until it's done. We've certainly talked to the representative, and I don't think this is something that's going to take long.
Bottom line, it's all about the team, and it's always been your concept through 3 decades in the National Hockey League.
Well, I think that anything you do has to be about the team, but I think you handle every situation, individually. But I have total confidence that Austin will be under contract before you know it.
What have you learned about some of your players here this week? Are you coming away with it with a positive feel?
Without question. I think that when you have the opportunity to interact at breakfast or see how they handle themselves away from the rink, how they interact with each other, and you find out about the person. And this is a people game, and the job that our scouts have done over the last several years, and I've said this before I came here, with a lot of players who are already in fold, so to speak, and the character of them, the abilities of them is just outstanding. So there's certainly a bright future for quite a few of them.
Did you like Keaton Middleton's nasty edge? He wasn't friendly at all, especially in that final period.
Well, I think, like the orchestra, everybody has an instrument, and I think that he's the drummer, and I think he knows what his role is.
Did you like Austin's, how he performed today?
Austin, is Austin. I think that, his abilities speak for themselves. We've all seen him along. I mean, he's an elite player and will be.
The coach said that Austin and Willie will play together in training camp anyway, and Mitch Marner, he sees him as a winger. Are you comfortable with, obviously you must have talked to him about these sorts of things, are you comfortable with that kind of depth?
Without question. I think that that's what we're excited about. I think that, the type of lineup that potentially we can put together in a training camp, players will decide who plays and who doesn't play, and the coaches will, certainly be evaluating, and likewise everyone. But it's going to be exciting seeing some of these kids and how they develop. No one's going to be rushed. There's nothing that's going to get off track. We're going to continue, with the process, and the end results, should take care of themselves.
What did you think of Brooks and Grunstrom's connection today with Mitch?
Well, that was the highlight play of the day. Let's call it the way it is, the way they, saw each other and the way they finished it. It was a play that started, with hockey sense and finished with creativity.
A sense and vision that Mitch has, that's an innate skill, isn't it?
You don't teach that. I think you saw that from the first shift he was on the ice, the first pass he made. Something just can't teach. It's just, nice to see and nice to have.
At a camp like this, how much much can you really evaluate the guys with what they're going through?
Well, you know, until you see them day in and day out, you see flashes of what you expect of them. But players that you've seen before, you look for certain things. But it's tough. There's no question to evaluate on one day. Tomorrow you're going to see something different. But until you get them day in and day out under the pressure, you don't really know how they're going to respond.